Hello and welcome back to our Twinmotion tutorials. And in this episode, we're gonna look into how to export images, and we can add some lighting into our scene to make our image look brighter, or just fill in the dark areas. So the first step we're gonna do after finishing with our materials and after placing all the vegetation we need, we're gonna set up some camera angles. So in order to set up camera angles, you're gonna go into media right here, and you're gonna go under image right here. So you're gonna click this plus button right here. But before that, I'm just gonna sorry, I'm gonna place my camera angle somewhere here. I know that the bottom of our topo solid from Revit is here, but I'm gonna zoom it in later. So I'm gonna stand somewhere right here first, and I'm gonna click this plus icon right here to add image. So click it to add it in. So that's our image right there. And in rendering, if you want a good view, it should be human eye level. So in Twinmotion, in order to stay at a human eye level, you can press M on your keyboard. So M is gonna take you to human eye level right there. And this is also walking mode in Twinmotion. So if you hit WASD on your keyboard, like it's like you're walking. So you can't hit Q and E. You can't fly up and down because you literally walking. But if you tap M key again, you can fly up and down again. Yep. So it's a cool little key we need to remember. So I'm gonna hit M again to take me back to the scene that I need. And you can use your right click on your mouse to pan your camera around. So I'm gonna keep my camera about this much, and I'm gonna hit this one to update the refresh the image, so it updates here. So the first after setting up our camera angle, we can start applying effects into our images. So the effects is on here. So the first effects I'm gonna add is I'm gonna have to change the image resolution first. So you can scroll down, and there's like this output size. You can click here, and you can click the default images that you want to do. Notice that these are just the default images. So there's like 2K, 4K, 8K. You can even do your custom one. So let's say 3000 by 3000. So it's gonna give you like a square image, or you can do like a 4K or even like an 8K image. So one thing that you need to notice is the higher the resolution, the more time it takes for the image to be rendered. So it depends on the needs. So let's say if you do like a really good project and you need like a really good image for your studio or something, and you still have some time, then why not bump it into 8K or 4K, But if you need like a quick image to give it to your client, or just to visualize what the materials will look like for your material selection, then just go for a 2K or even something smaller. So for this video, I don't want to spend too much time on waiting for it. I'm going to put my image to 2K. And the next thing I'm going to add is the FX. So the FX is these values right here. So I'm going to change the contrast to 55. I'm going to change the saturation to 42. Change the clarity to 8%. Change the sharpness to 20. And these are just my own preset, like I spend a lot of time playing around with it. So I find these random numbers to give like the best image. So if you have your own thing, then you can play around with it and find your own percentage. And for the render, there are two types of render in Twinmotion. There's real time, and there's path tracer. So real time is more like keep the environment the same thing. You can see this environment is very similar. But path tracer, if you click into it, it will give us a more detail, a more realistic kind of thing. Like the shadows, or are more like refined. The shadows are more displayed properly. So I'm gonna switch to path tracer, and under details you can click low or medium or high whatsoever, but I'm gonna keep my render at 512 samples per pixel, and max bounce I'm gonna give it 8, and the fireflies I'm gonna keep it 14. And switch to the next tab is camera. So in camera I'm gonna you can play around to find like different presets for your thing, but I'm just giving you like my my own preset. So I'm gonna turn off this auto exposure, and I'm gonna change this exposure right here. So this exposure is very important. This number is like how bright your image will be. I'm gonna put it 1.5 for now. So, and you can see that it's super bright right here. But when we apply the HDMI, HD, whatever it is, environment into it, it's gonna reduce the brightness. So trust me here. So the white bar here, I'm gonna keep it 6500, same here. So the more you go, the more yellow the image will look. Tint, I'm gonna keep it at 0. So local exposure, I'm gonna keep it on. Highlights, I'm gonna keep it at 0.7. And shadow, I'm gonna keep it at 0.7 also. Enter. So these two numbers are the values of the nearby environment. So let's say the sky or the shadows. So yeah. And the next thing we need to change is the length. So this is important. So you're gonna use focal length, and if you click detail right here, I want you to click parallelism right here. So it will align your image. It will make your edges straight into 2-point perspective. And after that, you're gonna rotate your camera around here. I know that it looks a little bit bright, so it's very hard to see. But in order to, just for time, like turn it off, you can click here. So it gets back to this view here, so it doesn't apply the render effects or like the path tracer onto it. And you can turn the after turning the parallelism on, you can use a focal length. So right here, you can go in and zoom in to the image, so it focus on just the detail of the house, just like how I'm doing right here. See, that's why I move it at first. I move it all the way back, so when I zoom it in, I don't see that that edge of the total surface anymore. And then after you move, you have to click refresh here, so it updates. And you can turn on this thing again to see what the shadow looks like, and yeah, it looks pretty nice, I think. And I think that is pretty much all we need for this camera tab. If you're not happy with it, after you apply the effects, you can always turn back and and change the values. But next I'm gonna go to environment right here. So this is another important tab. So this one can pretty much dictate how your image looks. Either you want like the sky or whatever, the sky or the weather or whatever, or the season. Yeah. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change it to HDRI right here. So yep. And I'm gonna use the sky dome effects right here. And you can choose the sky dome environment that you want. Right now it is the default one is set to Noon Clear 01. I don't really like this one, but because the sky looks kind of boring. I don't know if you can see the little background there. So I'm gonna change it into something different. So you can go to HDRI environment and you can look for different things. But the one that I use the most is called cloudy. So it's called MoAF cloudy. So I'm using the MoAF Cloudy 4 here. This one is one of the one I use the most. So you can drag it and drop it into this box right here, and it will load. It will take time to load. And after it's loaded, we can change the other values to it. So just give it a second. There we go. So it's already loaded. And after that, you can change the intensity to make the image brighter. So I'm going to change it to all the way 300. And after that, you can see that now our image is more, refined, right? The brightness and everything. You can properly see the materials and whatnot. I'm going to hit the refresh one more time just for it to update here. And the rotation here is the rotation of the sun. So you can, rotate it around to find like a good angle that the sun casts on your house. So something like this should looks good. I'm happy with that, right? Okay, and in this environment tab, there's a lot of things you can do with it. If you scroll down right here, under details, right? No, not under details, but under season right here, you can change the season. So you can makes the image like rainy weather, like this, and you can see the road got wet, and the wood got kind of like wet as well. You can even make it like snowy, like this, and you can even make the trees like all the leaves fall down like that, right? So I'm gonna turn off the snowy, and I'm gonna turn a little bit down of the rain, and I'm gonna turn the leaves at this point, and you have an autumn scene, right? Very cool, right? But in this video, I'm just gonna keep things nice and simple. I'm gonna keep it summer, just nice and simple like this. And there's details of it as well, right? So you can, if you have your image set to rainy, you can even set the wetness, the puddle size, all the other things. There's wind, there's fog, and yeah, you can play around with it to find out. But here is what I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it something similar to this. And right now, pretty much you have an image already. But if you want to take your image to a next step, you can add some lighting into it. I'm gonna show you how some of my renders looks like, so you can have a reference. So you can see like the lighting here. It takes your front view to a different level, right? Right there. And you can see the clear comparison between the two. So right here I have lighting, but here I don't have the lighting. It really does not change that much, but if you have a little bit of it, it's gonna look kind of cool. So I'm gonna show you how to add it in as well. So right now I'm gonna click refresh one more time just in case, and I'm gonna quit media mode. So I'm gonna go closer to my house, and I'm gonna place some light here. I'm gonna close this one here, go back to library, go to light, and you can drop any kind of lights you want. But first I'm gonna drop some spotlights in. So I'm gonna click the spotlight, and I'm gonna click it here, and I'm hitting escape 2 times. Did I put it there? I think I did. Yep, it should be there. Yeah, there we go. You can see on the ambience tab, and you scroll it all the way down, and you can find the spotlight. And I'm clicking this one, and I'm clicking the day, and I'm changing it to night so I can see how bright it is. Something like this should be good enough. And right now you can see that it's pretty bright, right? So you can change the intensity of it. So there's like this lumen right here. So I'm gonna change it to somewhere around 70. Even a little bit less, 50. And I'm gonna go to my image right here to see the effects. So there isn't really an effects on the image when it has it, but it doesn't matter. So I'm gonna go closer to it again, and I'm gonna turn on path tracer. So there we go. There's lighting. So let's say I have like, because this is the lighting, it got changed when you apply the HDRI environment to it. So it depends on different kind of environment. It gives you like different HDRI, different lighting result. So some of it is really good, but like some of it is really bad. So you have to find out by just playing around, applying different environment to it to find out. But I'm gonna change that spotlight. I'm gonna make it probably 300 again to see. And I'm gonna go to here again. And right now, if I change it to 300, you can kind of see the light here. So depends on, once again, depends on the HDRI environment. Some environment you set it to really bright, but it doesn't show at all. But some environment you set it to like really low, and it's like super bright. So it's really weird. So you're gonna have to like figure that out based on the HDRI environment. For now, I'm gonna give it maybe 450 to give it a little bit more brightness, and I'm gonna check it on my scene right here, and I can kind of see the light a little bit right there. So I'm happy with that. I'm gonna quit media mode again, and I'm gonna fly back, and I'm gonna move this light up a little bit more so it's closer to the light, somewhere like that. And you can change the color temperature to make it more yellow. So change it around 3000, so you can make it a little bit more yellow than that. And you can copy it to the other lights. So you can Control C and Control V. So there's two types of copy when it comes to any other types of objects in Twinmotion. To be honest, there's instance and there's copy. So I'll copy this one as instance first. So if you copy it as instance and you move it here, sorry, and you move it, let's say you move it somewhere here, okay. And then if you change one of it, I'm changing this one, not this one, I'm changing the color temperature, it changes the other one as well. I'm gonna hit Control Z and Control Z again. But if you copy it, wait, hold on, can I? Yep, there we go. But if you copy it as like a copy and you move it, and if you change one of it, it's not going to change the other one. You can see it right here, right? And so let's copy it, all of it as instances. So I'm going to hit Control C, Control V, instance, and I'm going to hit OK. You can move it right here, move it here, so it's under that light. One more time, right here, right there. So we got 4 lights right there, and let's check it on the image, shall we? So if we check it here, you can kind of see the light right there. Looks pretty cool. I'm kind of happy with that, and yeah. Looks good. So you can add another kind of image. So I'll add another image that casts on another angle of the house. So I'm clicking this add images right here, and I'm gonna turn off this path tracer so it doesn't take too much time. And let's turn on the time of day. Let's turn it to, oops, oh, I can't really change it here. I have to change it in here. So let's change it to 853, something like that. And I'm gonna go to image. Oh, you can't change it here also. Okay. Well, I can still see my house. So here, and I'm turning on this path tracer so I can see it better. And you can move it to somewhere that you like. I'm gonna move it here, like that. And I'm gonna update my image. And there you go. You have your other view. So there's like 2 views of the house, right? Very nice. And you can even rename the image. So you can click here and you can rename the image and type it, front 1. And then this one you can rename it to front 2 or something like that. There you go. Very cool, right? And now I'm gonna quit media mode, and I'm gonna fly into the house, and we'll do one interior view. So let's fly into the house, and let's do a view of the living room right here. So I'm gonna tap M on my keyboard, and you can see that at human eye it doesn't really show a lot. So a lot of time you don't really have to be in human view. You can kind of show it something like this as well. Just make your image looks nice. That's it. So I'm gonna make my image look something like this, and I'm gonna hit this plus add image, and let's move it somewhere here, and let's refresh. Let's check the image size. So 2K, I'm good with that. And I want to use the same effects on this image to this image here. So one thing you can do is, if you hover your mouse over to the other image, you can click this 3 dots and you can choose copy ambience, and you can click this one and you can click this 3 dot and you can click base ambience. So you can see that it got zoomed in really close because in the camera tab from these two images it got set to 58. So you can move it back, you can even type in your own number and things like that, and you can, you know, got brought back to the side view that you want. Sorry. So you can see that in this view there's like really dark, so you're gonna have to add some lighting to it, right? And you can kind of see the lighting from the outside to it, which is something that you don't want to put. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna find those lights on the ambience tab. So there's 4 spotlight, right? I'm gonna scroll all the way down because I know that it's all the way down here. So if you hold Control and you click all of these lights and you turn them off, it's gonna be hidden in this view. And I'm gonna hit refresh. So now you don't see those lights anymore, which is kind of cool, right? It applies to the objects as well. So let's say this plant right here. Let's turn off this one for a second. Oh, actually, let's turn it on. Let's say this plant right here. You don't want that plant to be in this image. You can click it, and you can hit hide, and you can update it here, and it's not there anymore. Even though in the model right there it's still there, but in the image it's not there anymore. So it's kind of cool, right? But I'm gonna keep it on, and I'm gonna refresh it again. And now I need to apply some lighting because this is way too dark for my liking. So I'm gonna hit quit media mode first, and I'm gonna apply like a spotlight from here. So click spotlight and just place it somewhere here. Hit escape and you scroll all the way down. You click the spotlight, and you can change the cone, the cone angle right here. So I'm gonna change it to make it wider, and I'm gonna go to my image to see what it looks. So you can kind of see that it got a little bit brighter, but it's not that bright, right? So you can click spotlight and you can change it. Let's make it 450. A little bit better, but honestly not that much better. Like, it's still very dark, right? So another thing you can do is you can go to that image and you can go to under camera, under exposure, you can change the brightness. So I can change it to 3 or 4 or something like that. So let's change it to 3, and now the image just got a little bit better. Let's change it to 4, and there we go. That's a little bit better. Let's keep it 3.5. Okay, it's still very dark, but now I'm going to show you one of my cheating tips that I often use in my renders. I know it's cheating, and I'm going to explain why. So in renders, when you do like basic renders, that doesn't take a lot of time. The lighting takes a lot of time, right? And in reality, these lights are good enough for that place, because in an area like this, just a little light like this will keep the area bright. But sometimes in render, it doesn't read like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place an area lights. So I'm going to place like another type of lights on here that covers the whole living room, so the place looks still look bright. So the image looks good, right? So I'm gonna hit quit media mode first, and I'm gonna go to under lights here. You can see area lights right here. So you click that, and I'm gonna click it somewhere here, and you hit escape 2 times. And if you scroll down, you click that area light, you can see the border of it right here. So I'm gonna change the length to you know what? Let's keep the length 5 meters. I'm changing the width. Let's change it to 3 meters, and you can see the width. The box of the width is here, right? You can see it right there. And I'm gonna go to my image, and right now your image looks 100 times better because it's brighter, and you can see all the objects and stuff like that. And of course, like, this is just a preview. You can add more stuff for this to this living room to make it look better. So for example, this is my living room right here. The same thing. You can add paintings, cushions, and stuff like that to make it more like homey, you know. But here I'm just gonna keep it like this, and I'm gonna hit quit media mode, and actually I'm gonna move this like up a little bit, just a little, like that, and there we go. And this is our image, and you can rename it, you can set it to, you know, living room or something like that. And there you go, you have your living room. You can change it to make it wider or darker or whatever you want, but this is just how I'm gonna keep it. And after you got all your images, you're gonna export them. So you can go to export right here, and under image you can click this plus sign, and you can choose all the images that you want to export. And if you don't want this front to, you can uncheck it, but I want it as well, so I'm choosing it. And if you hover your mouse outside of it, it will go out of that tab. So you can go, after clicking the images that you need, you can go export here. Export once again. And wait, hold on, where is it? Like right here, start export. So click here, and you can find like a file location that you want. So I'm choosing this one, and I'm selecting that location. So as I said, the more the higher the resolution, the more time it takes. So yeah, I'm gonna fast forward this part so you don't have to wait, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. And that is it. I think our images are already exported. I think it took me around about 20 minutes. Yeah, 25 minutes for the images. So the more effects, the more lighting, the more, you know, grass or stuff like that you have, the more time it will take. So as I said, if you don't want to take a lot of time, just reduce the image resolution, reduce the effects, reduce yeah, all sorts of things. So I'm gonna go to file and check out how they look. So right here, you can see all of that, and you can see our resolution right here, and yeah, it looks pretty good. All the lightings are there, and you can see the other angle. This is our living room, and yeah, I quite like what it is. And that is it. That's how you create or export images in Twinmotion. Remember to save your file. I'm gonna hit Control S to save it, and have fun. And if you have any question, let me know. And yeah, good luck.